What's up, everyone? I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jessie.
You're listening to Milkshakes and Ghosts.
Thanks for joining us today. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome in. This is a podcast where me and my mom drink milkshakes and talk about ghosts.
We're not just podcasters, we also do paranormal investigations now. If you're interested in seeing our ghostly encounters, tune into our YouTube channel. Our YouTube handle is @MilkshakesGhosts. And milkshakes, the word has a plural, so it has an S, and ghost also has an S, so it's MilkshakesGhosts. A lot of people have been asking and not finding the right handle, but that's exactly how it's spelled.
We travel to the destinations of the haunted stories we talk about.
Speaking of haunted stories, I've actually got a really good one for you today, Jessie.
What's it about?
It's about a doll.
Mine is about a doll too. Wait, did we pick the same doll?
Did you happen to pick Annabelle?
Okay, so this is going to be a funny story. Originally, I did plan on doing Annabelle, but then I changed my mind. So I'm going to wait to tell you what I chose.
Okay, so should I go first?
Sure.
Hold on to your seat. It's about to get scary. The year was 1970. Donna was a college student at the time. She wanted to become a nurse. She lived with her roommate named Angie. It was a special day for Donna. It was her 28th birthday. Her mother decided to pay her a visit and surprise her with a gift. Excited, Donna tore at the box, ripping off its red wrapping. Her eyes widened as she stared down at red yarn hair. She extended her arms, picking up the doll. The doll was 3 feet tall when standing upright. It was a Raggedy Ann doll. Donna was delighted with the gift. Her mother had purchased the doll from a secondhand hobby store. This is all the information that I could find on how the doll got there and where it was purchased from. Now, are you ready for all the spooky stuff that happened after Donna and Angie received the doll?
Bring in the ghost and the hauntings.
At first, there wasn't anything happening with the doll. It was just a doll. Then, over time, Donna and Angie both believed that Annabelle had moved on her own. When it first started, it was hardly noticeable. Over time, the small movements increased. Annabelle would be left on Donna's bed, and when the girls returned, they would find the doll on the couch.
That's creepy. First of all, I would throw away the whole doll, and then like I said before in one of these doll episodes, burn the whole house down.
I agree with you. Donna and Angie had a friend named Lou, who absolutely hated the doll. Lou thought there was something off about the doll. Something evil.
Like in all horror movies, no one ever listens or acts in the early signs. It always takes something major to happen.
That's exactly what's about to happen. As time went on, Annabelle's actions were creepier and creepier. Donna began finding pieces of parchment paper through their place with messages written on it. Help us, or help Lou. The strange thing is, no one in the house had parchment paper.
I would have moved out the house that very second. The doll can keep the house and everything in it.
Now Donna's breaking point came when she returned home one night, only to find Annabelle in her bed. Some sort of red liquid that looked like blood was all over the doll's hands. Donna took Annabelle to a medium. The history Donna received from the medium dated before their apartment complex was ever built, at a time where the property was just a field. A 70-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins was found dead in that field. Her spirit remained, and when the doll came into the house, the 70-year-old spirit went into the doll. The little girl found Donna and Angie to be trustworthy and wanted to stay with them. Being nursing students and all, Donna and her roommate Angie agreed to let Annabelle stay with them.
I can't understand their decision to keep a possessed doll. Makes no sense.
They were basically told by the medium that the doll was harmless.
Harmless or not, a possessed doll is still possessed.
Things turned much more sinister after they returned home with the doll. Remember Lou? The friend who thought there was something off and evil about Annabelle?
Yeah, how could I forget? They didn't even listen to their friend.
Well, Lou started to have horrible dreams about Annabelle in his bed, climbing up his leg as he laid there unable to move. She would slide up to his chest, then to his neck, strangling him with her soft, cotton-filled hands. Lou would wake up terrified and sweaty, with his heart beating like a drum. Days later, Lou and Angie were in the middle of planning to take a road trip when they heard someone moving around in Donna's room. They both thought that someone may be breaking into the room since Donna wasn't home. Lou went to check it out. Before entering the room, Lou listened at the door. He then entered the room, and everything looked just about normal except for Annabelle.
Run, Lou, run!
Annabelle wasn't sitting on her bed. She wasn't sitting in a corner. Lou began walking towards Annabelle when he felt the presence of someone standing behind him. He turned to look. There was no one there. As he began to turn back, a sudden sharp pain pierced his chest. Lou looked down. His eyes widened as he noticed a ripped claw mark on his shirt, piercing through his skin.
Lou seems like a smart guy with common sense. He had to known it was Annabelle.
He most likely did, Jesse. The claw marks that Lou endured, they healed really quickly. I think it was within 2 days or so.
That's really strange.
Yeah, I thought so too. 2 days, claw marks, and they're completely gone. It made no sense. At this point, Lou, Donna, and Angie knew that they needed more help with this possessed doll. They turned to a priest. The priest then turned to Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I've heard of the Warrens.
I definitely want to cover them in a future episode of ours. It didn't take the Warrens long to come to their conclusion. There was no ghost spirit in the doll. There was, however, a demon attached to the doll. They warned that the doll wasn't possessed since demons don't possess things, only people. However, the demon was clinging to the doll, manipulating it in order to give the impression that the doll was haunted. What the demon really wanted was Donna's soul.
Again, they should have thrown away the whole doll and burned the house down.
The priest performed an exorcism on the apartment where Donna and Angie stayed while the Warrens took the doll. They placed the doll in a bag and began their long drive home. Ed didn't drive on the highways since he wanted to avoid any accidents the demon doll may cause. Instead, they took the back roads. The car's engine kept cutting off. The brakes gave them trouble and the power steering kept failing. Ed had to open the bag of the doll, and as he did, he sprinkled holy water on the doll. Afterwards, the disturbances ended.
Wow. They needed holy water just to get home safely.
They sure did. Once Ed and Lorraine arrived at their place, Ed left the doll on his desk where it began levitating. Within the next couple of weeks, Annabelle was back to her old ways. She started appearing in different rooms in the Warrens' home. The Warrens called the Catholic priest to exorcise Annabelle. The priest didn't take it seriously. Therefore, on his way, his car brakes failed, resulting in a horrible accident that left him injured and his car completely totaled. The Warrens built a lock case for Annabelle where she resides to this day. The lock case has kept the doll from moving around, but whatever terrible entity is attached to it still lingers in the doll, watching and waiting for the day it can be free and spread its wrath once more.
That was super creepy. I wonder how much truth is in that story because it sounds kind of fake.
It's hard to say. There seems to be a lack of primary accounts from Donna, Angie, and Lou. All the research I did, that only came from the perspective of the Warrens. Donna, Angie, or Lou have never given their story. The Warrens are the only ones saying that this story was true and that this story happened. So who's to really say?
That makes me question everything.
Me too.
What happened to Donna, Angie, and Lou after the Annabelle incident?
I couldn't find any information on what happened to them after the incident.
Why are there no primary accounts from them telling their own side of the story to the public?
That's what makes me question if the doll was ever haunted. The fact being, we only hear from the Warrens and no one else. The Warrens were already well known for the Amityville horror. They were making some serious money with appearances, books, and movie rights.
Do you think the Warrens made it up to boost the story for more fame and popularity?
There's a good possibility that's exactly what happened. However, Ed and Lorraine Warren have both passed. The truth is out there. We may never know. It's up to our listeners to decide what they feel is real and what they believe to be a hoax.
I'm not sure how much I believe the Warrens' accounts on this one. Wasn't there a movie based on the Annabelle doll?
Yes, there was. It's called The Conjuring.
I thought it was supposed to be Annabelle, like just the movie Annabelle.
Annabelle was a prequel.
I did not know the movie The Conjuring was based on the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, Annabelle is an iconic figure in the Conjuring franchise, which includes 3 Conjuring movies and 3 Annabelle movies. It's pretty amazing. I've watched every single one of them.
Well, take a large gulp of your milkshake and prepare yourself for my story. It's about to get spooky.
I'm taking a large gulp now, Jessie.
Robert Eugene Otto, or Gene, as his family called him, was just a young boy in the early 1900s when his family's maid gave him a strange straw-filled doll to play with. Gene loved his life-size doll and brought it along everywhere, even naming it Robert after himself. It wasn't long, however, before people began noticing signs of Robert the doll's evil and mischievous nature. As rumor has it, the Ottos and their servants would often hear Gene in his bedroom having conversations with himself in 2 entirely different voices. Furthermore, the Ottos would wake up in the middle of the night hearing Gene scream. They became fearful as they discovered the frightened boy in bed, surrounded by overturned furniture. Gene would blame Robert the doll for messing up the bedroom, while Robert would glare at Gene from the foot of his bed.
Okay, so forget about throwing away the doll. Throw away the whole kid. Just, the whole kid's gotta go.
I would not be surprised if it crossed the parents' mind once or twice. That's too much weird spooky things happening all at once. Soon after the incident with room furniture being overthrown, unexplainable things started happening. Each time Gene would say, "Robert did it." Of course the parents didn't believe Gene.
Can you say that more serious? Try to laugh. Oh. Man, parents don't be believing kids.
Good thing I have you for a mom. I know if I told you a toy was possessed, you would believe me.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to sit around and wait for worse things to happen. The second you tell me you see or feel something from a toy, that toy is getting thrown into a river with a large brick holding it down.
I'm glad you always got my back, Mom.
You know it.
It was reported that the Ottos could hear the eerie sound of Robert giggling around the house. People that would walk by the home would claim to see a small doll moving from window to window. Robert was eventually moved to the attic, where he remained for a number of years. Gene eventually grew up and his parents passed. He inherited his family's Key West mansion. After discovering Robert in the attic, he returned the creepy doll to his bedroom. By then, Gene had been working as an artist and would spend his days alone in his mansion painting with his old friend Robert. Gene eventually got married. His wife hated the doll. There are conflicting rumors about his wife after this. Some say Gene's wife died from insanity after locking Robert in the attic. Others report that Gene died with Robert by his side. Today, Gene's residence operates as a bed and breakfast called the Artist House.
Do you know what happened to Robert the doll?
Robert the doll has had somewhat of a celebrity life. He's been featured in a Travel Channel television program and a horror film franchise.
That's very interesting.
In October 2015, Robert the Doll was taken to Las Vegas for an episode of Zak Bagans' Haunted Museum that aired on April 2nd, 2016 as the first episode of Deadly Possessions. The episode was also re-aired on August 12th, 2017 as the first episode of Ghost Adventures. In 2015, the British horror film Robert was released, written and directed by Andrew Jones and inspired by The Haunted Doll. 4 sequels have followed, including The Curse of Robert the Doll in 2016, The Toymaker in 2017, The Revenge of Robert the Doll in 2018, and Robert Reborn in 2019.
Wow, he's had more media coverage than us.
I know. Robert, you're famous.
I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, well. Robert's famous, more famous than you. As of June 2024, Robert the Doll is on display at the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, along with his teddy bear. The doll was donated to the Key West Art and Historical Society after being discovered in the attic cedar chest many years after the death of its owner, Annie. And that, my friends, is the story of Robert the Doll.
Great story, Jessie. We should definitely add Robert the Doll to our list of travels.
We can do an investigation with our EMF reader.
Next vacation will be Key West to visit Robert the Doll.
I know we mentioned earlier, you can find all our paranormal investigations on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube handle is @MilkshakesGhost. Both of them have S's at the end.
We're podcasters by day
and paranormal investigators by night.
Follow us on all our socials. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and X. I will link all our socials and our YouTube in the show notes.
Keep drinking milkshakes
and keep being spooky!